Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Lost Loving Life with Karen Chaston. Yes, I am still in hotel quarantine, and yes, my hair is getting darker and darker and darker, but what does it matter? We are here. I don't have my lights, which is why it's a little bit dark. It's so funny. I have this amazing desk in hotel quarantine where I am. Everyone say hello while you're here while I'm checking in. Hi, Kerry. Great to see you here. So here I am in hotel quarantine, right? And I move my desk around depending on what it is. And in StreamYard, I can't use my virtual background, which is really annoying because I can use it in Zoom. So I have my desk sort of facing the beach, right? And I'm going to actually show you some photos of the amazing photos that I have been taking. It is just so cool. How great is that shot? So I'm in the Crown Plaza in Surfers, and I am so gifted with these amazing sunrises each day, and it's really amazing that I am here. But for those of you who don't, oh wait on, let me not go there. Let me come back here. Wait on, let me come back here. Oh, we're going through it all. Wait on. Let me just come back to where I want to go. Okay, here I am. Right. So for you, thanks, Kerry. They are beautiful photos. It's just so gifted. I went to Sydney for 5 days at the end of June, and I ended up staying down there for 6 weeks. Really, most amazing time that I've ever had. And I'm going to share with you why I stayed for 6 weeks. So when I was 16, I adopted my daughter out, and she's now 47. She'll be 48 in December. And she has been in my life for 20 years. But as you can imagine, it's been a very up and down relationship. But over the last 6 weeks, well, 7 weeks now, because I've been in hotel quarantine for a week now, and I'll be out this Sunday. Yeah. So anyway, apart from that, we really developed an amazing relationship in the fact that we could walk each day, right? I was staying with a girlfriend, but we could walk each day. So through us walking and talking, we really got to be vulnerable with each other. We really started to have open and honest conversations, and it was just amazing that happened in lockdown. So I totally understand that lockdown for a lot of people is really, really traumatic, but this has been great. So this is Beyond Lost, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. So Melissa, great to see you here. Kerry, Stephanie, Marina, Angel, Gina, and Melissa. Melissa, I don't do readings, right? I help people to move beyond any kind of loss. So I totally understand if you don't want to hang out for the next 45 minutes, hour, however long it goes. But I don't do readings because I am, look, we're all intuitive, but I just don't do readings. I'm very intuitive for myself. And if we were having a conversation, I would certainly tap in. But you know what? You have all of the answers you are seeking. And whilst it's great to come on here and ask people for a reading and everything like that, when we start to know how to tap into our own intelligence, our own amazement, it's really when we start to get the right answers for us. Because let's face it, no one else has ever walked in your shoes. No one else has ever, even know what goes on in your life inside and out. So it's really good for you to do that. But in saying that, I do actually pull a card each week when I come on from these beautiful channeled spiritual guidance card by Marcia Quinton. She's got a website if you want to go see them. They're great, beautiful cards. And the card that I picked today, here you are, you can see it, is number 38, and it's called Soul Protector. Now, I haven't read the card, so I'm not really sure what it's about, but how beautiful is this card? They are absolutely amazing. And the reason I use these cards each week, thanks, Melissa, I hope you understand, is because I can read the card. I don't need a book. This is it. Kelly, have you met your adopted mum? Because it really is It's an interesting journey that my daughter and I have been on. And look, I'm a great believer that we chose our life before we came down here. Sure, we have free will. We don't have to go ahead with it. But I honestly believe that that is why we chose this lifetime, is for us to be separated and then for us to come back together. 27 years later, I met her and she's now 47. So, and our 20-year journey has not been easy. I'm going to be honest with you. It has not been a Oh, good. I'm glad, Kelly, that you have a great relationship with your dad and your mum, because it is really important. I'm going to ask you another question. Have you read the book, Primal Wound? I'm going to type it in here into the chat. Really interesting book. My daughter and I, we read it a few years ago now, probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. If we had had that book at the beginning of our relationship, we wouldn't have had such the ups and down relationship. Really, really great book for anyone who is adopted. But anyway, let's get on with what we're going to talk about today. If you ever want to reach out to me, go right ahead, Kelly. More than happy to have a conversation. Okay, Soul Protector. Never doubt yourself or your judgment. She has magic in her sword that will ignite the flow of energy and power through your door. She will open your mind and raise your vibration. She will awaken you to the consciousness of all life that surrounds you and bring you a great gift of love and power. She knows that you are a grand soul, one who radiates light, and that your soul is to be protected at all cost. The Soul Protector has stepped into your life today, and you will feel a great measure of power that will touch you deeply within your being. Listen for the sounds of the sword slashing through the barriers that surround you in this life, removing the debris that holds your heart, mind, and soul. Flow freely into the glow of life, for you are beautiful. You are magnificent, and the world awaits your radiance. Oh my God. How amazing is that card? Right. This is so fantastic, because this card is really that we are all protected on a soul level. And it's really important for us to always know that we are magnificent and the world awaits our radiance. So often we play small and we get caught up in the dramas of life, and we believe so many things that maybe are not true. We make assumptions and then we wonder why. We take things personally, and there's so much to these things that it's really important. Okay, great, Kelly. Just email me. Here's my email address. More than happy to have a conversation, especially now I'm in lockdown. At karenchaston.com.au. Okay, Gina, I need some guidance. Is there something in my life stopping me from being positive, or is there a negative energy around me that I don't know of? Gina, good question. I'm going to actually give you some guidance. Do you muscle test with a pendulum? Because it's really important for us all to have a little pendulum. As you can see, it's always on my desk. But do you muscle test and use your pendulum, because your pendulum will tell you if there is a negative energy around you that you don't know of. So let's go down this little track, and then we'll get back to the subject that I wanted to talk about today. So, and isn't it great that, if you've probably noticed, right, I have designed something to talk about today. And if we get there, fine. And if we don't, that's fine as well. Because it is so often in life, we get caught up in this is the way things have to be, and we just are going to do life this way, as opposed to just going with the flow. There's infinite possibilities for every single thing in our lives. And when we tap into that energy, we really can start to see all these different infinite possibilities. So start to do that, but anyway, let's go into a pendulum. Okay, so the first thing before you use your pendulum, and as you can see, I love crystal pendulums, and I just feel it's so good. So this is the pendulum that we will be using today. We're going to ask questions that can only have a yes, no, or maybe answer. we're going to tap in and we're going to make sure that, first of all, we're going to do a little setup. So let's do this. First thing you got to do is be hydrated, okay? So if you don't have any water with you, go and get some water and let's see. Okay, I don't, but can I use anything else? Yes, you can, Gina. So let's do this together. Everyone can do it with me. Grab a necklace, grab a chain, anything that can swing, anything that you can hold at the top and it will swing. Okay, that's all you require. It doesn't have to be a pendulum. I obviously like mine. First thing to do is drink some water. Right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to ask some questions to set ourselves up so that we can figure out what our yes and our no is. So the first question is, show me my yes. Okay, as you can see for me, the yes is going forwards and backwards. Okay, it doesn't, everyone is different. So the next one is, show me my no. As you can see, my no goes sideways. Okay, the third question is, show me my maybe. My maybe goes around in circles. Okay, so we now know what my yes, my no, and my maybe is. So then we can start asking questions. But let's just double check. Okay, my name is Karen. Okay, so I get a yes. Now, if you said your name was Karen, you'll probably get a no. Right, so my name is Fred. Let me stop it. My name is Fred. So as you can see, my name is not Fred. Okay, so we know exactly what it is. Okay, we know our yes, our no, and our maybe, and we've double checked it. Am I hydrated? Now, that's a really important question to ask because if you're not hydrated, you're going to get false negatives or a false response, and we don't want that. So let's go back to what Gina's original question was, and I'm going to show it here. Okay, I need some guidance. Is there something in my life stopping me from being positive, or is there a negative energy around me? So what we're going to do, let me just remove that so you can all see the pendulum. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, Gina, it's for you to say, is there any negative energies around me? No, there's none around me. Am I guided and protected? Yes, I am. Am I open to all possibilities? Yes, I am. Am I, so you can just keep asking as many questions as you want so you can figure it out. But it can only be yes, questions that can have a yes and no answer. Obviously, the pendulum is not going to tell you what to do and how to figure it out. So, Gina, I highly recommend that you start tapping into yourself. This is for everyone, okay? You are the master you are seeking. And the more that you start to embrace the tools that will assist you to, start off to see that you are the master. And I don't expect you from your very first go to master this. Now, I've been using pendulums for a while, and as you can see, the swing is quite long, okay? Whereas when I first started out, it was probably only a little swing like that, okay? But the more you get into it, the more that the swing will actually move and you'll get it very quickly, your answers. But you also know. So what we're doing is we're tapping into our unconscious. Now, our unconscious knows everything. It remembers every single millisecond of your life and of your past lives as well. So that's what you're tapping into, is to find the answers. Does that help, Gina? Is there anything else that you can do? Yeah, that I can assist you with that. Right. So, Stephanie, what would you like some guidance on? I don't read cards. I just give some guidance on how you can move beyond any kind of loss and create your better everyday life. That is my expertise. Sure, I tap into my intuitive guidance. We all have it. But more importantly, what I do is I just trust. I trust the answers that are coming to me. I'll definitely try this tonight when I've relaxed and all my energy is to my questions. Have to move forward from past trauma. Okay, trauma. That's my expertise, and that's what Beyond Loss is all about. So, Gina, I highly recommend that you reach out. I've put my email there. Or if not, if you can hang around later in the show, I'll be sharing my Revitalize Your Life, and that will help you to tap into you, to move past your past trauma. And that's what I do. That's my expertise is I help people to deep dive in to the trauma, the things that have happened in their life. And you know what? There is a gift in every single thing that happens in our life. And I know that sounds really unusual, but it's not the gift of the actual event. It's the gift and the realization that comes after the event, who you become, how you move forward, how you create your better everyday life. Hope that helps. What do I need to do to get a reading? Not here, Shana. I don't do readings. If I did, I would give you one. But what I do is I help people to move beyond any kind of loss. Totally understand if you don't want to hang around, but it's due. Okay. Right. Okay. I think I've answered all of our questions. So let me go here to my little slides, and we're going to. So there are over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. Okay. So what are they? And what is it that actually is it that we need to understand? So here I'm going to go full screen on this. So tap into and have a look at this. You know, these are the things that are trauma creating, that things that we get us stuck in our lives, where we get emotionally attached and we don't know how to move beyond our emotions. And this are the sort of things. So as you can see, you know, I obviously share this list quite a fair bit. And I've had so many people say, oh my God, you know, I'm only 40. I've had like 21 of these losses. I've had so much thanks. Okay, so what we'd like to do now is wait on. I'm just really, before we continue on, I'm just really reading Melissa's comment because I hadn't seen that before. I apologize, Melissa. So let me show it. Okay. Thank you. The cards are beautiful. I just removed someone out of my life that was very negative in my life. Okay. And my grandmother passed. She was very world. We would be both spiritual, but I can't hear or feel her anymore. She was my life. I'm lost without her. Okay, Melissa. Right. Now, are you walking a lot in nature? Because what I've found, like, you know, for those of you who have seen me here before, you will know that, like all of us, I have past loved ones. But one of my past loved ones is my son. He passed away 10 years ago, and he was 27 at the time. I would love to have him in this realm, but you know, and that's why I'm saying there's a gift in every loss. You know, the gift isn't in losing Dan. The gift was who I became after it. Now, I used to be a CFO of a publicly listed company, an accountant, and I was really busy, eating too much, working too much, drinking too much, just totally into my corporate sort of phase of life, as a lot of us get into. But then Dan passed and I just kept going. I just went straight back to work and I just carried on. And, you know, I was just shoving all of my emotions down with food, alcohol, you know, working too much, shopping too much, and all of those sort of things. And then, of course, the universe was like, hey, you were meant to wake up when Dan passed. Right, we're going to send you another loss event. And the second loss event came in the form of my redundancy from my much loved role, because the company was merging together. And when that happened, that was when I took the time to stop and to deep dive into what was going on in my life. I was always very spiritual, even though I was an accountant, but I also knew that there was more to what was happening. So that's when I did the deep dive into me, and that's when I found me. I like to call that the journey to becoming my own best friend. And it is a journey that we will all do for the rest of our lives. So that's why I share what I share now, is to help people to move beyond the traumatic events in their life. But I also assist people to realize that your loved ones are with you. Your Nan is with you. Now, how have you stopped? Like, are you busy all the time, or have you taken the time to stop? Have you also taken the time to talk to her, to ask her to show you, to show up, and they show up in the most amazing ways. Like, as I said earlier, here I am, Crown Plaza in hotel lockdown, on in surface, and who should arrive but I got two little beautiful, what are they called? Parrots, but they're not parrots. The colourful parrots. I can't think of their name. But anyway, both of them arrived on my balcony. So one arrived first, and I went, "Hi, Dad." No, "Hi, Dan. How are you?" And he was sort of facing into the room. He flips himself around so I can see his full body, and I went, "Hi, Dan. That is definitely you, posing for the photos." And then another one arrived, and there was my dad. And I went, "Hi, Dad, how are you?" So I had a conversation with them for really about a minute. I was amazed that they didn't fly off. They hung around, and I just talked to them and told them how grateful I was that they dropped in to see me, because I'm literally not allowed to have anyone else in my room. So it was so amazing and so much fun. So your past loved ones will show up in so many different ways. They could be, you could hear a song that reminds you of them. Could be a line in a movie that, I write down so many lines from so many different TV shows and stuff. Then I'll write a blog on it or do something else with it. So they're always sending you guidance. They're putting little ideas in your head. They could have even just organized it so that you showed up here today. It's just absolutely amazing. So start to look to nature, start to spend time in nature, start to slow yourself down. Just sit in peace, start to ask. We all forget to ask. Have you actually asked your Nan for a sign to say, "You're here, you're with me," your grandmother? Sorry, I said Nan, I'm not sure what you called her. But anyway, so have you actually asked your grandmother, like, "I really miss you, I want you to come"? She may even come in your dreams, and ask to remember your dreams, because we don't always remember your dreams. So it's really important that you know that she's there. She may be busy doing other stuff, but she will always have time to come and visit you. Okay. Right. Is there any more questions? I hope that helps you, Melissa, before we go. Exactly, Shana. Yeah, we all have so many of them. It's really, I am struggling to find Megan. Okay, Shana. Right. I was going to wait to the end, but now I am going to share with you I'm just going to post it here, right? And I'll just come into here. I want to share this with you. Revitalize your life. Okay. When you totally lose yourself, the best thing that you can do is to actually invest $45 or one off $45 in revitalize your life. Okay. So, what happens in life, right? When we come into this world, we are perfect. We are pure. We are pure love. We have confidence. We have everything going for us. We know how to love our life, to bring joy, to bring happiness, fulfillment. And then as through the growing process, we slowly chip away at ourselves. Then we become adults, and then, a comment we might lose that. I can remember when I first started my corporate career, I was literally told, "Don't act like that, Karen, if you want to get ahead." And the boss, he thought it was well-meaning advice, but in reality, it wasn't. He didn't say it, to be horrible or anything. He thought he was giving me great advice. So I slowly lost more of me and more of me and more of me, to the point that when Dan passed, I literally looked in the mirror and I didn't even know who I was. I was completely different to who I am now. I had lost a lot of me. I was working way too much, drinking way too much, and eating even more. But the silly thing about it was, I just didn't know who I was. And that's why I created this Revitalize Your Life. And thanks, Kerry, for saying it's a great course. What it is 45 days of you each day getting a new activity that takes no more than 45 minutes each day to do. But what it's doing is it's reconnecting you to you. And you are, believe it or not, the most important person in your life. You are the one where you are going to, what's the best word to say it? Become your own best friend. You know what I mean? You're the one you're only going to spend your entire life with every week, 24/7. You don't spend 24/7 with anyone else. So it's really important for you to start to really get to know who you are, to love who you are, to honor who you are. And if there are some things in your life that you want to stop doing, figure it out. Stop doing it. If there's some things in your life you want to start doing, do it. And then you'll figure out things that you want to continue doing. So I really would love for you to just check it out. As I said, it's an investment of $45, not per day, in total. It's $1 a day. And I purposely did that because I know that so many people are so lost that they are not able to do my Beyond Lost programs. And that's why I created this course, so that you can tap into you. You can figure out who you are. You can start to see where you want to go and how to go there and start to close that gap so that you can come back to you. So that's what I highly recommend, because, as you said, you're struggling to find me again. And this will help you to find you again, because believe me, we go into so many amazing things, 45 different little things over 6 weeks. And, you know, seriously, it's 10 cups of coffee. And I'm sure you can go without 10 cups of coffee to invest this in yourself. Right. So that's Shana. I'm just reading for. Okay, it's quite interesting what you said, Karen, to Shana. Is she looking in the wrong places? Do you know what? I heard this years ago, very, very early on in my journey after I left my corporate life. And it was, if you feel there is something missing in your life, maybe that something is you. Okay. And that's why I love Revitalize Your Life, because it really does help you to reconnect to you. So check it out. Doesn't matter whether you do it or not. It's, as I said, it's $1 a day, but it's time for you to reconnect, Shana. I've always been someone's mum, wife, or something, or someone. Exactly. We all have. We are all wear so many hats, and we all wonder, when is it my time? When can I be me? And another great saying which I love is, if you're continually saying yes to everyone else, it means you're saying no to yourself. And that's probably why you're depleted. It's probably why you're in resentment. And it's probably why you're looking at your life going, what's it all about? Like, seriously, all I ever do is look after everyone else, and I never do stuff that I love. Go back to start to tap into the things that brought you joy when you were a kid. Things that you could do for hours and hours and hours, and you'd look up and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I've been doing this for 4 hours. I thought I'd been doing it for like half an hour. They're the things that, is really great for you to get back into, so that you can start to, tap into you. Now, each week, if you're part of my database, let me know. If I'm just saying, if you want to become part of my database, let me know, and I'll send you a link. You can download. Actually, what I'll do is I'll copy, which is another great little free ebook. And this will put you into my database, because each week I send out emails that really do help people to reconnect to me. I call it me time. It's, I every Sunday morning, it's an email that's will have the theme of the day, and then it'll call, it's your Sunday, your day to shine. And I give you little hints. There's little crystals to dip into, there's music to dip into, things that you can create your me time. And your me time is really important. If you're not spending 30 minutes a day on your me time, there really is time for you to start to do that. And, you know, so many people go, oh, I don't have 30 minutes a day to spend on me. And it's like, yes, yes, you do. Get up half an hour earlier, or actually start to spend less time on social media or Netflix and all that sort of stuff. Because I'm here to tell you that this little device is controlling all of us. It controls our time, it has its own agenda. And before we know it, we're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Right. So no time for my crafts. I would love that. Okay. So start to create it, Shona. And the way you start to create it is you look at how you're spending your time. So start writing down each day at the end of the day how you know, spent your day. Because I'm sure you will easily find an hour, if not 2 hours, where you could have gone off and said, I'm just going in here, I'm locking the door, leave me alone for 30 minutes. And then you can do whatever brings you joy, even if it's just to lie on the bed and listen to some music or to start dancing. It's incredible the different things that, you know, your me time could be, just having a nice little soak in a bath with some music, you know, on, and just relishing the fact that you're alone with your thoughts. And, you know, start listening to your thoughts. Are your thoughts your best friend, or are they your thoughts bringing you down? There's so many different ways that we can do that. Hope that helps you. Right. I think I've answered. Right. I feel right. Okay. I'm glad you felt that you should hear it. Um, for everyone, you know, it's amazing how the universe, you know, I said before, you know, the universe actually guides us and protects us, and you know, it sort of does put you in a position where you can actually see things. And they're probably bombarding a whole lot of things of us, and we do miss a whole lot of it. But once you're more open to it, you will start to tap in, and you will start to see how actually guided and protected we all are, which is totally amazing. Right. So let me continue on with my next little slide, because I want to help everyone to realize that our whole life journey is us going from love to loss. Okay. And so often we get stuck in the loss that we don't know how to come back on the infinity sort of loop to get back to love, because we haven't really been taught how to move beyond loss. You know, when you look at all those 40 different loss events that I showed you, most of us don't even realize that some of them are loss, a grief causing situation. We know that we feel crap, but we don't understand why. And because most people don't even know that, they say things like, what's wrong with you? Come on, get back to who you used to be. You know, there's nothing going on that you should be reacting that way, and all that sort of stuff. Not realizing that you're actually in a grief causing situation. So, what we're going to do is we're going to deep dive into some of the Chaston Sema gems, which I just obviously love to share. So much better than a toolkit, isn't it, ladies? We love our little gem box. So, why do we suffer so much? Why is it when whatever loss event comes to us, we suffer? Okay. So, the first reason is because we don't understand these three aspects of every relationship. Okay. Now, there's two people in every relationship. And it's important for us to understand that there are two people who can make or break it. It's not just one, it'll be two. But the first thing we need to understand is there's three aspects. And the first aspect is the physical. Now, the physical is the way we hang out together, the things we do, the things we say, the way we touch each other. So that's the physical part of our relationship. Then we have the emotional part. And the emotional part is the things that involve all of our emotions, the good, the bad, the glad, and the sad. Now, every relationship has ups and downs, right? It's just like a heartbeat, where we literally, if you look at a heartbeat monitor, it goes up and it comes down, it goes up and it comes down. Now, if it was a straight line, we all know that that means we're dead. Well, if our emotional relationship was a straight line, we would feel like we were dead. Okay. It's the highs and the lows that actually make us appreciate. Us journeying through the highs and the lows is what connects us. It makes us even more so together. Now, at the beginning of the today's show, I talked about my relationship with my daughter. We've been through an emotional roller coaster for 20 years. We're now in a good spot where we actually realized that a lot of our emotional roller coaster was through misunderstanding. I would say black, she would hear white, and making assumptions and not asking questions. The fact that we now actually say things like, tell me what you just heard me say, so that we clarify where we're actually at. Because if she has a reaction that I didn't expect from what I said, I will definitely be asking, and will she be asking me, what did you just hear? Because that's not that what I said was not that reaction. So it is about us not making assumptions. It is about us realizing that if something was said, it was not said with an intent. It came from where we're at, not from where our relationship is at. And then the third part of every relationship is the spiritual. Now, the spiritual, as we know, is that intangible. It's we know that we're connected to that person, place, or friend. We just don't understand why we are so connected spiritually to whatever it is. Okay, so what causes us the most amount of pain is our emotional aspect. So let me explain why it's the emotional aspect that causes us. Oh, actually, we're going to deep dive into the emotions, but let me just get over here. Wait on. I've got to get out of where I am. I get myself into this little loop. No, it keeps going back. Let me just go back to where I want to be. Okay, I'm out here. Okay, so our emotional relationship is what causes us all the pain. And the fact that we don't understand our emotions, we don't see them as our friends. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you did hear right. Our emotions are our friends, because our emotions are the thing that we can do is we can deep dive into them and we can actually go, what is this about? What is it inside of me that requires healing? Why do I feel this way? And have I assumed something? Like, is it true? Is am I actually assuming that this is correct and I'm feeling this way, but is it, true? I read a book recently and they were actually talking about a little bit about this, and they actually went into the fact, it was really good. They explained that this guy, right? He had his previous girlfriend play up on him. So now here he is in a new relationship, and he's actually, everything's going along great. Then he couldn't get in contact with his new girlfriend one afternoon. And it was like, well, she should have been here by now. What's going on? All this sort of stuff. So he went into his old scenario of she's playing up. Now, there was no evidence that said she was playing up. And then she rocks up a couple of hours later. Surprise! I've been out shopping. I've bought this amazing ingredients. We're going to make dinner together. But by then he was in such a state, he started accusing her of having an affair and all this sort of stuff. None of it was true, but in his mind he had built it up that I'm not I can't trust people. Everyone's going to play up on me. All these things because of the past. And that's what's important, that when we deep dive into our emotions, we actually start to figure out what they're about, what requires healing, and are they true? Like, is it true that the way we're feeling, or is it just an assumption? Because so often in life, we assume so many things and we're not even really sure. So I hope that helps a little bit with emotions. Let me go back to questions. Shana, my friends have gotten to the point where they all need me more than I have. I just moved across the country to be able to find time for me, and I am still not getting any time. Is sort of a little bit funny, isn't it? The fact that you had to move away to get away from them, and they're still following you. So, yeah. But Shana, you know what? No one does anything to you in life. They do it for you. So maybe your friends are unconsciously fulfilling an agreement that you both had before you came down here. And it sounds to me like it's time for you to learn how to say no. And it's not easy to say no. It's so much easier to say yes, especially when you keep getting these requests. But it sounds to me like it's time for you to say no. And watch what happens when you say no. Initially, they won't be happy that you're saying no. They will, rearrange the question. So just say no and don't give well, I can't do this because of this, because they'll rearrange the question. Just say no. Just say no. And you can even say, if I do that, then I'm not doing my stuff. If I helped you out with that, I won't have time to do my me time. And it's really important when I do my me time, because when I'm all filled up, I get extra energy and I have a better time with everyone else in my life, not just you. And it's important for you to understand all of that, so that when people keep doing things to you, start to go a reframe on that and actually go, they're not doing it to me, they're doing it for me. So how is this working for me? Okay. And you will come up with your answers, but more than likely, okay, I'm meant to say no. I keep saying yes. I keep being depleted. I keep having no energy, no time for me. Maybe if I say no, I will have all of that. And guess what? Then I'll bring love and joy into my life, because I'll be doing all the things that bring me love and joy. Okay, so as I said, we're going to deep dive into the emotions, and I really would love to explain this to you because it's really important. Let me get back to here, which is what I call the unconscious mind loss loop. So when loss comes, or anything, any emotional turmoil comes into our life, our unconscious goes into this loop where it starts to track back through the whole relationship. Now, remember, the unconscious mind remembers every millisecond of your life. So it remembers every single millisecond, every interaction that you had in this relationship. And it will say things to you like, oh, I wish I had, why didn't I, if only, we should have, why did they, why did I say? And you keep going into this emotional turmoil, which causes more pain for you, because you realize that, oh, I can't go forward. I'm stuck in this loop. And when you think about like our recent pandemic, let's face it, no one knew that we were going to be limited in the way we could travel, in the way we could do things. In some states in Australia, or some capital cities, they're limited to, at the moment, only being able to go 5 kilometres from their home, which is, it can be, depending on your attitude, it can be horrific to be able to be limited so much. But the thing is that but the gift in that is for us to realize that once, when we are out of this scenario, we will start to value every single millisecond in our life. We'll start to go, do you know what? I'm doing it now, because I don't know if I have time tomorrow. And let's face it, we don't even know if we're going to be here tomorrow, unless you have an expiry date on your birth certificate. We don't know when we are going. And we all have set the date, we just don't remember it. So it's important for us to know that when we start to deep dive into our emotions, we can get so many answers on how we can create our better life forward. We'll get the answers that will assist us to deep dive in and not feel so bad. And that's what I love about the unconscious mind loops, is we've got to deep dive into our emotions, okay? And I know it's not easy, and the more that we keep shoving things down, like food, alcohol, drugs, shopping too much, keeping too busy, social media, all of those sort of things, being angry, we're not taking responsibility for who we are. We're not deep diving in and actually going, right, how is this event going to happen for me, as opposed to against me or to me? And you start to go, right, who do I want to be? How do I want to react? How can I move forward? How can I be that person that I've always wanted to be? And that's the gift that I call the gift of loss, because it really does assist you to be able to live and love your life, and to be the most amazing person, to get out of your own way. Because let's face it, how often do we get in our own way? So I hope, it's through our actions, our inactions, and our postponements that we can start to deep dive into what is causing us the pain. It is through the things that we've done, we haven't done, or the things that we've put off. You know, we have so many hopes, dreams, and aspirations for ourselves and in any relationship. And sometimes we just put them off, and then the relationship ends for whatever reason. And we go, oh my God, why did I put them off? Why did I do that? But those things can still come to fruition. It's just a matter of you figuring out how they can come to fruition. And that's what this deep dive is all about. So that's all. That's just where I am. I've finished. Yes. So we've come back. So is there any questions? Let me come back here. Is there any questions that anyone would like to ask me about anything? Anything we've talked about the pendulum, about your emotions, about, you know, all the different loss events, how you can create your better, you know, everyday life, because that's what I love to do. I, you know, when I left my corporate life, I went looking for a better way to process loss, because the things I found, it was give it time, just keep busy, everything will be all right. And it didn't work. It didn't work for me. And it just made me go into avoidance. And I went into avoidance in a big way. And that's why I thought that's not what the world's about. We're not here to avoid our life. We're not here to have tragic events happen in our life and then we stop living. No, it's about us understanding, right, this has happened. How can I learn from it? How can I grow? How can I honor the other person, whether they're in this realm or beyond? How can I ensure that I am always honoring the fact that I am the only person I am going to spend my entire life with? How can I make sure that all of my hopes, dreams, and aspirations come to fulfillment? That I don't have any regrets at the end of my life? That I live in all areas of my life? That I have amazing relationships? That I have an amazing career? That I have amazing health and wealth and everything else that is my birthright? And it doesn't matter where you're born, it's everyone's birthright. And the more we understand that, the more we actually understand that I don't have to bring you down so that I can achieve. I can actually achieve, and there's enough in the world for every single one of us. And that's what I love about life. So if there's no more questions, thanks, Kerry. If there's any more questions, otherwise I am going to go back and enjoy my lunch in this beautiful hotel quarantine, which is until Sunday morning. And then I will be home with my loved ones, which will be fantastic. So is there any more? So next week when I'm here, I will be at home, woo-hoo, which means I'll have the good lights on and I'll have my beautiful background and all those sort of things. So if there's no more questions, I would just like to say thank you for being here. Thank you for playing with me today. And until next week, make sure that you make every day meaningful, memorable, and magical.